Good day, everyone, especially to you, Ma'am Ohaylan. I am Rosaline Fajardo Felias, and in Chapter 8, our topic will be all about students with emotional and behavioral disorders. To my dear classmates, please take note of the important informations that I am going to share with you. Now, allow me to introduce this chapter. There are students who make an indelible mark in school not for their performance in academic work, but for their undesirable and unacceptable behavior that violates school rules and regulations. These are the boys and girls who are often sent to guidance office for various reasons such as bad conduct that disrupts class activities, aggressive behavior, and physical attack on their classmates, stealing, lack of manners, and respect towards all people as well as peers and similar behavior problems. These children and youth are referred to as emotionally disturbed, socially maladjusted, with emotional and behavioral disorders. The topics covered in this chapter are definition, classifications, etiological factors, psychological and behavioral characteristics, assessment and special education strategies in handling children and youth with emotional and behavioral disorders. So first, allow me to share with you about the fear in the playground, referring to the Reader's Digest in February 2003. The following article on bullying, written by Lam Lai Ching, shows how serious the problem has become in Asia. Research shows that bullied children often fail to focus on their studies. Juan Reyes summoned up all his courage as he walked through the yard of his Manila secondary school in November 2001. An older, larger boy had been picking on the 12-year-old for weeks. He had teased Juan mercilessly, calling him crybaby in front of other kids. When Juan had asked his tormentor to stop, the bully had responded, "Why should I?" Now, Juan finally decided to confront the bully. "Why do you keep insulting me?" he nervously asked the bigger boy. The bully responded by grabbing him by the collar and shaking him. A brief fist fight ensued before a school employee broke them up. Moments later, the bully clutched his chest and fell to the ground dead. An autopsy later revealed that the boy had died of a heart attack, brought off by an undiagnosed heart condition. Weeping and covered in bruises, Juan told the investigator after the fight, "He kept on teasing me. This is the only time I stood up for myself, and look what happened." Juan was charged with homicide and jailed for 3 days. Before he was released on bail, the case is pending. The tragedy is that the boy's death and Juan's anguish could have been prevented. However, schools, parents, and even the students themselves are not doing enough to address the problem of bullying. According to an inclusive Reader's Digest poll of 2,500 parents of secondary school children in 5 cities, bullying is all too common in Asia. Nearly 1 in 5 respondents knew of bullying incidents at their child's school in the past year. Almost 60% felt bullying was a serious problem generally. The problem appears to be particularly pronounced in Manila, where 1 in 4 parents said there had been bullying at their child's school in the past year. Indeed, 1 in 8 Manila parents said their own child had been bullied in the past 12 months, double the number for Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. Just as disturbing are the effects of bullying revealed in our poll. 15% of the bullied children suffered physical injuries, and 27% needed counseling. Progress at school was affected for 1/3 of the bullying victims, while most respondents said Their child's school was taking the problem of bullying seriously. Experts across Asia paints a different picture. Dr. Agnes Bueno, a child psychiatrist at St. Luke's Medical Center, and Dr. Theo Shenjin, a consultant clinical psychologist in Kuala Lumpur, said that bullying is often ignored or the school does not know about it and so deals with it ineffectively. Parents have every reason to be concerned. Bullies pick on any perceived difference, such as shyness, plumpness, being too clever, too attractive, being the wrong color, or simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Dr. Bueno also said that sustained bullying can leave children feeling depressed and they can lose confidence and have suicidal thoughts. They cannot focus on their studies and become defiant, and younger kids can become hyperactive. So it is essential to solve the problem as soon as possible. Unfortunately, few schools in Asia take a comprehensive approach to bullying or have established anti-bullying policy, says Dr. To Chen Lee, Senior Consultant Child and Adolescent Psychiatrist with the Institute of Pediatrics at Kuala Lumpur Hospital. Schools need to take bullying more seriously as it can cause both physical and psychological damage to children. Experts agree we do bullies no favors by excusing them. It's too easy to excuse children who bully. However, if the problem is not dealt with, it could lead to worse behavior as they grow older. Vicious bullies should be made to apologize and be punished in some ways, says Nayagam. They should do community service or be suspended from school. In extreme cases, they should be expelled. With younger children, shaming tactics are often enough. 7-year-old Anthony Lim of Sarawak, Malaysia, hit a female classmate on the head and threatened to get his older sibling to beat her up. In response, the principal talked to him about what he had done, made him apologize to the girl, and then lightly slapped him on the hand in front of his classmates to embarrass him. He never bullied again. Teachers should stress that speaking about bullying is not telling tales. It is important that teachers encourage students to do so. Otherwise, they effectively condone the bully's actions, says Bueno. The challenge is to get your child to accept this. It was only 6-year-old Tan Eileen of Kuala Lumpur refused to go to school, claiming she had a stomach ache and stopped talking and participating in class, that her mother found out that she has been bullied for 2 months. Eileen displayed some of the classic symptoms of the victim. Other warning signs parents should watch out are the following: frequent crying, torn clothing, unusual quietness at home, missing possessions, bedwetting, and deteriorating schoolwork. Above all, parents need to feel confident that their child's school is taking bullying seriously. So there are effective steps to beat the bullies for the children. First, don't show distress. It gives the bully an emotional payoff. For 3 years, Kumar Singh of Kuala Lumpur was called Bombay, a degrading name for Kumar. I felt angry and hurt when they called me that, says Kumar. Sometimes I got depressed and cried. That's just what the bullies want. Name calling is very common, according to Christine Apado. My parents told me to ignore them, Kumar says. Whenever his tormentors made fun of his Indian heritage, he would pray or sing a song inside of his head to help him ignore the insults. When he ignored the insults, having lost their free entertainment, the bullies soon stopped. Next, don't be a witness. If you see bullying happening, walk away. It implies disapproval and weakness to bully's position by removing an essential audience. The chances are he will soon lose interest. Meanwhile, report the incident to an adult. For the parents, first, build self-confidence. A bullied child often feels somehow to blame for the situation. A healthy self-esteem allows them to behave in a positive but controlled manner. Many children don't know how to stand up for themselves without fighting back. For weeks, some classmates had mercilessly taunted 14-year-old Mary Garcia of Manila because she was smart, had many friends, and was popular with boys. They called her names including bitch. I told her to walk away from these girls, avoid them and go to places where they wouldn't meet, her mother said. I also helped her to write a story in her school magazine on dangers of envy. This helped Mary understand how envy can lead to bullying and that she was not to blame for the taunts. Next is strengthen friendships. Encourage children to make new friends who can give moral support. Going for swimming or karate classes gives kids a chance to make new friends but can also build up a child's social skills and confidence. Apadu said. Next is seek expert help. Make an appointment to see your child's teacher, giving a written report of the bullying incidents and set a mutually agreed time limit for action to take effect. Don't telephone the bully's parents or talk to the bully yourself. Let the teachers do it. If the bully does not stop, see the principal. After this, a letter to the school's board of governors is in order. Now, let's move on to the influence of the physical and sociocultural environment on personality development. The variations in human behavior are influenced by the basic determinants of personality development as follows. First, the person's genetic background or heredity. Second, environmental factors. And third, the general patterning of development. In the same way that a person's genetic inheritance dates back to centuries and even eras of the evolution of the family tree. One's social traits are the end products of centuries and eras of social and cultural formation. Usually, the clan and family teach its members to conform to certain practices and traditions. Parents teach their children to behave in ways that are appropriate to their social status. Parents who are doctors, engineers, teachers, politicians, and other professionals want at least one of their children to follow their footsteps. Families tend to sustain and improve their social classes, occupational and religious affiliations. Parents declare that they want a good life for their children, better than their own. A person is expected to follow various social roles demanded by society. The person matures in succession of roles in the lifespan from being a child, student, wage earner, husband or wife, parent, parent-in-law, and senior citizen. A person conforms to the role demands if he or she receives positive reinforcement such as money, prestige, and status. On the other hand, negative reinforcement like punishment, deprivation of status, and loss of prestige lead to nonconformist behavior. The favorable and unfavorable elements in both the physical and sociocultural environments strongly foster the person's value patterns and attitudes. As a result, different environments shape different personality characteristics. Thus, a person continuously interacts with various groups and experiences varied interpersonal relationships. He or she participates in the sociocultural environment in his own unique way, beginning with the nuclear and extended family members, gradually extending to peer groups, classmates, friends, and significant others in his or her social world. Personality development is very much influenced by a person's socialization experiences. He or she interacts various modes of behavior patterns that cover a wide range of both positive and negative experiences. His or her behavior patterns reflect much of his or her personality traits, which in turn generate either positive or negative responses from the social groups. The social reactions vary from acceptance to rejection, inclusion to exclusion, and similar reactions. Ideally, social roles should be clear and comfortable for the person. However, social roles can be conflicting, unclear, and not understood so that the end result are misunderstanding, quarrel, discomfort, negative feelings, and unhealthy attitudes. In such cases, a person's personality development and adjustment patterns may be impaired. It is important to remember that while heredity and genetic endowment provides the potential for favorable and positive biological and psychological environment, the person's way of thinking, selecting options, making decisions, feeling and acting are heavily influenced by the physical and sociocultural environments.